Jessica, Evil Eye, how are you? It's so good to see you.
It's great, Kylie. It's great to see you. It's great to catch up.
Yes, I'm so happy to see you again. I'm so thankful for your time because you know, I tell you this all the time, but you are truly one of my favorite humans, favorite athletes that I've worked with in my entire career.
Man, I feel the same about you. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to fix, this long time problem I've been dealing with. So you are my godsend, and I'm thankful every day for you.
You're so kind. Thank you. And you're just one of the toughest, most hardworking creatures I've ever met. And for those that don't know, I'd love to have just a quick background on your life, on your story. When did you begin fighting and what was the inspiration for that?
I first got introduced to mixed martial arts, which, it's so crazy because mixed martial arts, everyone thinks like UFC fighting, right? They go, oh, you're one of them UFC fighters. And yeah, I am a UFC fighter, but really the name of what I do is called mixed martial arts. And there's many different leagues. There's the UFC, there's Bellator, there's ONE FC. I competed in the UFC for almost 15 years. So I first found it when I was 19.
Okay.
In Cleveland, a strong style. It's a strong style mixed martial arts and independence. And it was the only fight gym around because fighting was still so new. The UFC itself is, only 28 years old. So fighting is still so new. And, mixed martial arts was so new to the community. But Cleveland had their very own mixed martial artist, and his name was Dan Bobich.
Okay.
So I'd heard about him. I'm like, wow, look at this tough guy. And got introduced to the gym and, started training and was like, wow, this stuff is really cool. Like I've always been an athlete my whole life. I played soccer and basketball, track, all the high school sports. Went to college, at Akron University, and realized that college sports were so much different than anything I'd ever done. And I felt like I kind of got sick of being in the position where a school got to take my credit or, I wanted to do something that made me an individual. So when I found fighting, I was like, this is perfect. I get to be the captain of the team. I get to be the number one of the team. I take the credit. And I really liked that. So, I started training, and then I had my first fight, 6, 7, 8. So June 7th of 2008 was my first fight down at the Nautica Pavilion in Cleveland, right there on the water. Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. And I started my amateur career then, and I went 5-0 before I made my pro debut. Wow. I want to say 2010, I made my pro debut.
Oh my gosh, good for you. And so obviously there's so much God-given talent here, but I'm curious as a dietitian, what was food like back then? When you went 5-0, when you first started, did you care about food? Like, did you have crazy tactics for weight cutting? What was it like?
Gosh, what's so crazy is I look back at my food journey in life, and I remember when I was a little girl, my dad, the way that he ate, he was your typical auto worker kind of man, bought boxed foods, made sandwiches and stuff like that. And even when I was eating back then, I just it never felt satisfying to me. So when I got introduced to fighting, they're like, you have to be in a weight class. And I was like, wait, what do you mean weight? I have to check my weight. I'd never even been on a scale. I didn't do that as a person. I knew about wrestling. So then my very first fight, I had to cut weight to 125, which is called the flyweight division. And I don't know, maybe around that time, I was probably like 140 something pounds, but had no idea how to eat. I'm literally making wraps or eating like canned pineapple, or just not even eating and thinking that I'm getting in that position. And it wasn't until my very first fight that I had a very challenging weight cut. And that was the first time I'd have been introduced to a sauna suit. And if you know anything about a sauna suit, you basically wear the sauna suit to alleviate your body of water, right? And we all know that water equals weight when we are in this sport. So we're like, hey, if I'm 5 pounds over, if I lose 5 pounds of water weight, there it goes. So you had to put the trash bag on, be super sweaty, cut the water weight out that way. And it wasn't a fun weight cut. So at that time, I knew some bodybuilders, and the girl's name was Sarah Black, and she actually, was killing it as an NPC athlete. I think I placed second in bikini or something along those lines. So I was like, hey, can you help me? I'm gonna have another fight. I need help with nutrition. So that's when they first explained to me that a potato, a chicken breast, each one of those has grams of protein, grams of carbohydrate. And I was like, oh, so I just got to count those, right? Just got to count how many carbs, count how many things I was eating. And still at that time, I wasn't eating good food. I'm still oh, so 2 cookies is 20
Right.
grams of carbs and I got to standard this many carbs. I'm eating the cookie and then still not feeling my best. So it took many, many years of, following that. And I wasn't until I met you, Kylene, that I truly understood that. I mean, and this has only been within a year that, I could say previously that like the carbs meant something, but how the carb actually meant something, or how the protein meant something, or what the protein meant to your body. So, right, say eating bacon, you know what I mean? Like if I'm just eating bacon and considering that protein, like it's still considered a fat. There's still more value to it than just me saying it's a protein,
Right.
Because it came from an animal, right? Saying it came from an animal, it must be some type of protein.
Right. Right. I think most people think that way.
So for many years I went along and I did struggle at times with how to cut weight properly, but I had more nutritional value than I know most people did. Like I knew that potato meant this and a zucchini meant this and broccoli meant this. It wasn't until again I met you that I realized that like, wow, eating too much broccoli can cause me to bloat and make me feel that way. You mean eating too much of it? You mean eating broccoli every day is now causing me not to get nutrition that I could get from other vegetables, and mixing them up meant more than just staying consistent. I think that that's what almost even the old nutritional diets would say, like eat the same thing over and over.
Oh yeah.
And you're good. But really that causes imbalances and sensitivities to that.
And microbiome dysbiosis, meaning the bacteria is overgrown, undergrown when you're eating the same exact foods every day. It's just so much more than calorie counting. We've talked about that a lot, but it's an interesting point. And what's crazy to me is that I remember you came to me saying that you had gut issues most of your life, and yet you came to me though at a higher point of nutrition, meaning you were not my athlete, like crushing bags of Skittles, eating fast foods, skipping meals. Like you were so far ahead of the curve than most of the professional athletes that come to me, yet you still had things to work on, which I think is fascinating.
Well, yeah, I think that even too with that, like, I think that most people forget that the reason they're getting gut issues is because of the food they're eating. They think it's just something they're born with or something they're dealing with. And
or aging, or I'm training too hard, right? I mean, everyone says this to me.
Yeah, for me, that was most of all, is I was like, I knew I wasn't eating bad food. I've never been a fast food eater. My friends joke with me. They're like, you're such a bougie eater. You only like these things. And that happened before I even realized I was dealing with. I go, I just don't want to eat bad food because I don't want to feel bad, and I don't want to feel that way.
And sometimes you get so used to feeling like junk, I think you don't even realize that it's not normal because you've lived that way for so many years. Athletes, at least, you're more of a tougher breed, and you fight through it.
You fight through. And it wasn't until, again, with me, like I started getting more headaches. I started dealing with possible concussion system, that I'm like, why am I dealing with concussion symptoms? Why am I dealing with these issues? And in all reality, it wasn't because of the training. It was because of the nutrition or the lack of nutrition. And I think particularly in my situation, the parasite was stealing from my body. And in reality, I'm still eating all these clean foods and still doing all this and still feeling this way. Can you imagine what we could do for athletes if they weren't dealing with a parasite and eating better foods? Right. How much better? Right. We can use an example of someone best, and that's LeBron James. Is that you want to be you want to be 10% better. It's more than just being in the gym. It's more than being rich, but it goes down to the food you eat. It goes down to the way that you eat in that way. And I think that, again, if you want to be your best possible athletic self, or your best possible person for your family, for your job, for your child, not eating those bad foods what causes you anxiety that might equate to having so much anxiety that you can't help your child with their homework. Right. Because you're so brain fogged because you decided to have beers, and refined carbs, all day at work, that, how are you not retaining your ability to learn your job, learn your child, and be the best possible version of yourself?
Yes. I couldn't have said it better. Do you feel like you have such a deep understanding of this because you live through those pain points? Like you live through the pain, the gut issues, the headaches, the crazy. Remember, not to disclose your bowel movements, but I know you don't care. I know there was a time
you
were going up to like 10, 25 times a day sometimes, right?
when I was losing my gallbladder, that's, I was going to the bathroom 25 times a day. And I mean, really at that point, I was scared that, maybe I was dealing with something much bigger than even myself. But now first thing I ask everybody when they're talking about nutrition or having issues, I go, what are your bowel movement like? So I'll say, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be too invasive, but how many bowel movements are you having a day? And what are they like? Are they loose? What are they? Because again, I could keep equating so many things to it, but I think one of the biggest ones I equate to things in life, again, is also animals, right? Our dogs can't speak to us, but what do we do when our dog is going through something? The doctor says, collect a stool from them, right? They take that stool, they go and test it, and then we start to see, what's going on. So if we know what we're eating is causing whatever it is in our body, and we can look at that and go, look, what's going on with our body, be based upon the way that we're excreting things, right? Are we not sweating? That's also one of them, right?
Right.
Our bowel, the way that we smell when we sweat, the way our bowels smell. There's all these things our body is warning us about and telling us that we just have to, listen to. So always my number one question is, how many times you going and what are they like?
That's right, baby. And not pooping. Like most of my athletes, they're not really eating vegetables. They're eating fast food. Like they don't go, they're like, yeah, I don't go poop every day. Sometimes I don't go every 3 days. It's like, oh my gosh, can you imagine what that's doing in terms of detoxification, metabolic function, our immune system? Like it's just so crazy because I believe so many athletes don't reach their peak potential because they just either don't take nutrition seriously or they ignore the warning signs that you just explained.
Yeah, I think that ultimately, is that I also think that, a part of the warning signs is not really knowing what the warning signs are, right? Like what's a warning sign? Constant headache, right? Why do I always feel full or bloated? So the understanding what you're feeling and listening to what you're feeling and getting a chance, like I didn't really know what I was dealing with until I was given symptomatic, like, Jess, is this happening to you? I'm like, oh, wait, I am getting headaches. Okay. Wait a minute, my eyes do hurt. Oh, wait a minute, I do always have achy joints. You know what I mean? All the glutamine's not working. Oh, the icy hot's not working. Like all of these things, I go, wow, this means something bigger, and really giving yourself a chance to come to terms with that. Come to terms with that you're actually dealing with something.
Yes. And is that how you were a walking ball of inflammation, but it's hard to realize that, like I said, when you felt that way for so long, but is that how you knew you already were so great with your nutrition? Is that how you knew to reach out for more help because all of that started to click? Is that how you knew? Yes,
for the most part. I think my gallbladder, losing my gallbladder was really it. When I lost my gallbladder and I thought the symptoms would stop and the symptoms got worse.
Yes.
I was like, wait a minute.
Okay.
Once I lost that, I was like, wait a minute, there has to be more. Why am I still dealing with these pains? Why am I still dealing with this stuff? They said it would stop, and ultimately I think most medicines now, your normal doctors are going to try to alleviate the problem by removing organs instead of taking a much bigger approach on it. And, that's why we're lucky for people like you, Kylie. You take a much bigger approach and that we can actually fix it. It's like taking a cut. Like I got this cut, I have to nurse it back to health so that the cut can heal and that the cut goes away instead of just saying, cut the finger off.
Right.
Get rid of the finger. Finger's gone. Get rid of the finger.
Great analogy.
No.
Get to the root. Don't chop the finger off. Find out why the finger has a problem. Then we grow and move on. Right. I mean, that is so awesome. So then, we did so much. I mean, my gosh, we looked into parasites. We did a stool test. We did food sensitivity. I mean, after we did the whole journey with you, what do you feel like changed? What were the biggest symptoms, maybe with weight cuts, recovery, training? What did that look like?
I mean, everything, it had everything. The recovery changed I used to have to do cryo, massage, do all of these different things. And I still never felt better. This last camp, my first time ever working with you. And finally, once we alleviated the parasite, alleviated the bad foods, ate within our food bubble, right? When we ate the foods that we know my body wanted, no more inflammation, no more headaches. The easiest weight cut I ever had. I was able to eat all the way up until my fight.
Holy cow.
And literally that morning, the morning of my weight cut, which was, I had to lose about 5 pounds of water weight, but the water went like this. It was that quick because my body wanted to let go of it. It said, it's okay. We don't need to hold on to you. We're not in starvation mode. So let it go. And again, I was able to compete pain-free. Nope. My body was ready to work for me.
Which is amazing. And you're the perfect example of even if you suffered from something your whole life, I know it got worse in life, but you had gut issues since childhood. I mean, even if it's been there for an extended period of time, doesn't mean we can't reverse it. Doesn't mean we can't improve it, right?
No, you could change it. It only takes a day. I always tell everybody, first, change happens by the choice to start now. That's how change happens. You make that decision now. And sometimes that might be reaching out to you, Kylene, and that might be the hardest thing, or acceptance that you need help.
Yes. Yes. Gosh, I love you. And just one last question. I know you're so busy, but what advice would you give to any athlete who's kind of on the fence, that's sort of thinking, I might want to kind of dabble deeper into nutrition, but I'm nervous. Like, I don't want to eat cat litter and ice cubes. I don't know where to go. What kind of encouragement or inspiration would you give to these athletes on the fence?
I really just think that as an athlete, I would tell you that nutrition is not 1% better. It's 10% better. It's our everyday. It's more than practicing. It's more than just living the lifestyle in the sense of thinking about it. It starts from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. That alone, the food is like us being a race car and allowing the best gas, the best tires, that special air intake. And when you're increasing your nutrition positively, your whole life changes. Everything does. I mean, food is fuel, right? Food is just like, it's fun for us. You need to have a balance, right? If you want to be a hardworking person, when vacation needs to come. So you have to find that consistency in the good so that you can allow yourself to maybe cheat and have a little bit of that bad. And that might be sneaking ice cream every once in a while. You have to have those consistent days of hard work and good, clean foods, and those before you can indulge in it.
Right. I love that. And I think just making it really simple too. If you don't feel great, if you wake up tired every day, if you're not going to the bathroom, if you have reflux, whatever. Oh gosh, I just lost. Are you there? Oh no.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I completely lost the screen. Can you even see me? No.
Yeah, I can. I can see you.
Can't see you. It lost the screen. It's yelling at me to upgrade. No. Okay. I don't know what to do. Okay. Sorry about to edit that. Oh,
that's okay.
I guess I better hurry. Okay. I don't know why I can't see myself.
Oh no. Well, at least we got through it.
Shoot. At least we did. Oh my gosh. My soul is crushed. Oh, okay. No. Fine. We'll edit that. Okay. Okay. Anyway, it says 9 minutes. All right. So anyway, I think the biggest take home is that whether you want to up your game or whether you don't necessarily feel great, like maybe you think you're eating well, but you're waking up tired, you're not recovering, you're not building lean mass the way that you should, like maybe it's time to dive deeper.
I think that ultimately, if there's one thing that we can control, it is the food that we consume, right? Mm-hmm. We can't change that we can get injured at practice, or maybe the ball doesn't get to us, but we can change our nutrition, and that might change our performance so that we do get the ball more, so that we aren't worried about getting injured, that we have all these positive things. This is the one thing we can take control of.
I love it. Well said. Thank you so much again for your time. P.S. Do you love my sweatshirt? Cleveland made me.
Oh, Cleveland made.
Oh, you're the best. I love you. You're such an inspiration. Thank you for your time. You're also inspiring the world, not just me. And I hope you will always keep in touch, and I'll be here whenever you need me.
Always. Let's keep helping the world.
Let's do it. All right. Take care.